Hello, and welcome to this week's live coaching conversations with Pam. I am Coach Pam here. I am a passionate coach who works with mid-career professionals and helping them with professional development and career advancement. And so this week we are talking about you understanding your strengths and passions as an introvert. And so, have you ever felt like your career path has been stuck? That you're just kind of at a crossroads and you're really unsure which path to take. What if I told you that unlocking your unique strengths and on your passions could set you on a path of fulfilling your career? Would you believe me if I told you that? Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, we're going to talk about three areas tonight: reflecting on your strengths, exploring your passions, and then we're going to align your strengths and passions with your career goals. And so, first off, when we talk about reflecting your strengths, you really want to identify your core strengths. Now, there are tons of assessments out there. There's DISC and motivators, there's strength finders, there is the Myers-Briggs. And so there's tons of assessments out there that you can take that can help you identify your strengths. There is a free assessment called Via Character Strengths, and you can go online. You will, I believe, have to set up an account for it, but you can take the assessment and you can identify your top 5 strengths for free. It is a free online assessment. You can utilize that as a resource to help you to identify your strengths and really identifying your core strengths. You can also think about some of the things that you excel in. What is it that you do well? Is it problem solving? Is it communicating? Maybe it's managing projects. That can be another way to help you to begin to identify what your strengths are and what are the things that you do well. When you know what your strengths are, it gives you clear direction. It gives you a clear sense of where you can excel in your career, lead lead more targeted job searches and career decisions, because when you're clear about what you bring to the table, it can definitely help you to understand where you can add value and make wise decisions when it comes to your career. Another benefit of being able to identify your core strengths is around confidence. It's a confidence booster. It can boost your confidence by reminding you of your capabilities and your past successes. So here's a question: how many of you track your successes? The things that you did well, the things that you got really great feedback on, the things that you have accomplished. Are you tracking those? Those are your successes. And when you look at those successes, you're able to identify the strength that you used to accomplish those things. That's a way to track and identify your core strengths. Very important when you think about, especially as an introvert, because we're not as expressive, right? We're not out in the open sometimes. And so for us, we're more inward. So it's good for us to start tracking some of our successes so that we're able to utilize those successes to help us make decisions when it comes to our career. So here's an exercise for you to think about. Recall 3 tasks or projects or 3 things that you did and you did them very well. What were the skills that you used again to accomplish those tasks? I want you to take some time and write that down and start thinking about what are some of your strengths? What are the things you do well? All right. So that is reflecting on your strengths and identifying your core strengths and how it can really help you on a career path. Next, what fuels your passion? Consider what activities make you lose track of time. What are things that you do that you enjoy? What excites you? What energizes you? These are key in helping you to identify your strengths and tie it into your passions. Some of the benefits could be, if you love mentoring others, perhaps your passion is in coaching, right? Or teaching. or, and mentoring others. And so some of the benefits with that is around enhanced motivation and job satisfaction. When you align your career and your passion, it will give you that motivation and that job satisfaction because you're doing what you love. You hear people say when you're doing what you love, it doesn't feel like work because it's a natural ability that you have. Another benefit of being able to fuel your passion and aligning your strengths and passions together is that it ensures you that your career choices to lead to long-term satisfaction and fulfillment. So the benefits is enhanced motivation and long-term satisfaction when you are able to identify your core strengths and tie in your passions as well. So it's that combination going on there. So here's a practical tip. Create a list of topics or activities that you love. So whether and include everything, include hobbies, interests from your childhood, or and see what are some of the recurring themes when you think about the things that you love to do. And how can those tie into your passions that can help you to make wise career choices when you're kind of feeling stuck and you're not sure which path to take? And lastly, excuse me, we'll talk about creating a career vision. So this is aligning your strengths and your passions with career goals. So here, when you're creating a career vision, you want to think about how can you combine your strengths and your passions? How can they shape your career goals? So, as an example, if you're great at organizing and passionate about events, perhaps you may consider a role in event planning or event management, project planning, project manager. These are some things. So, if you like organizing and you're very passionate about it, think about where you can begin to apply that passion. Where are there things that you can volunteer for? Are there things that you can do within your community? And maybe it's not in a work setting, but maybe it's somewhere in your community. Maybe you're volunteering to do some things. So start thinking about your strengths and how to make the connection to your passions. That can create you a win-win when you are, in the marketplace and when you're at a career crossroads and you're not sure which direction to take. So some of the benefits of having a career vision is goal alignment. So combining your strengths and your passions in your career goals can help you set realistic and achievable objectives that resonate with your core values. That's that's almost like a whole topic by itself. Another benefit in combining your strengths and your passions together and aligning those goals is that it can lead to greater engagement and commitment to your career development. When you find things that you really enjoy and that you are really passionate about, it can give you a greater sense of commitment and help you to be more engaged. And so here's a thing that you can do, a practical application. Perhaps create a short term goal. Think about your strengths, as we talked about. What are some of your core strengths? And then think about some of the things that you're passionate about. How can you marry the two? And then align that with some career aspirations to help you to be more engaged and more committed to your own personal growth and development. So, lastly, I'll wrap up here. Just understanding your strengths and your passions is key to setting meaningful career goals, and it can give you direction and motivation. So, I hope that you found this information helpful today in understanding how to identify your strengths and how to identify your passions and how to marry the two together. And so join me next week as I will be discussing career goals. Now, we're all familiar with SMART goals, but I'm going to share with you an alternative to SMART goals. And you have to join me next week to learn more about it. So other than that, take care and have a wonderful